4 a.m., February 26th of 2021, I got my heart ripped out of my chest. That's exactly what it felt like to lose the most important person of my entire life, my papa. So kind-hearted, selfless, and heroic, he's been there for me my entire life. He's taught me so many things throughout my time with him, and even after my time with him. These are the things that I'll be speaking about today. Things like always trusting God, never judging anyone, and the importance of knowing that there's always somebody there for me. Starting with the most important one, always trusting God. My papa taught this to me in a very extraordinary way. We were in the hospital room of Ann Arbor. My papa was told that he wasn't going to make it that night, and my family was told that he wasn't going to make it that night and that we need to be planning our final goodbyes. My family was out in the hospital hallway while I was in the hospital room holding hands with my papa. I asked him if there was anything I could do for him, and he told me to pray with him. I had never prayed before because I was a young kid and I hadn't wrapped my mind around the fact that there could be a higher power such as God until that night when I saw the capabilities of him myself. That night I prayed with my papa, and the next day he went home to his home healthy and happy. That's where my papa taught me to always trust God, and I've never lost my faith in him since. Along with teaching me how to trust God and to always trust God, my papa taught me the importance of never judging anybody. Throughout my entire life, as long as I can remember, my papa has always been super involved with the church. There was always lots of people who came into the pews of our church looking for something to look to because they had no family, no job, the loss of a house, or just the loss of family, searching for God in some way. These people, without knowing their background, why they're there, who they are, I would judge them very hard. I would not trust them in any way. And as a little kid, most of us do that. Our parents tell us not to judge people, but you still know those people that you look at and you wouldn't walk up to them and be like super talkative with them. But my papa would invite those type of people to dinner with us, and he would teach me that it's okay to trust these people. Some of these people, like my cousin, who is still my family to this day, I met from her having no family and finding her ways into the pews of our church, and my papa brought her to our house to eat dinner with us. And since then, she showed up for some of my most important life events, like birthdays, my quince, just my biggest accomplishments. She's been there for me. And at first, I didn't even trust her. But my papa taught me never to judge anybody, and that's how I gained family. Lastly, my papa taught me the importance of knowing that there's always somebody there for me. My mom was a med student when I was born, and my dad worked third shift. This was all the way up until around 4th grade. There was really no parent home for me most of the time because they were at work and school, and when my mom got out of med school, she was a nurse. I would go over to my grandparents' house every single day, and they'd always be there for me to take care of me. My grandpa the most, because my grandma had a lot of sicknesses and illnesses that she needed to take care of herself before somebody else. My papa would always have food for me. He would always be there for me in the morning when I got there. 4 o'clock in the morning, he'd be up and dressed, ready to take care of me, a little kid who didn't even know why I was there at the time. He'd pick me up from school when I was having sick days and needed to go home. He'd take me out to McDonald's with some of my closest friends. He would show up to my basketball games when I'd look in the stands and wouldn't even see my parents there. I'd see my papa there in the stands. He'd show up to all my softball games, everything important to me in my life, all my dance recitals from when I was 4 to 11. He'd show up to everything for me when my parents couldn't be there for me. That's how he taught me that there was always somebody there for me. All of these lessons are super important to me, and that's why he is the most important person in my entire life. He taught me to always trust God by showing me the miracles that he can perform. He taught me that not judge anybody, to show me the capabilities of people and how they can impact your life greatly and become your family, even though you don't know them. And most importantly to me, he taught me that there's always someone there for me. no matter what. And even though my papa passed away at 4 a.m., February 26th of 2021, and he can't call me his little angel anymore, I am more than grateful and more than proud to call him mine.